Hello everyone, hope you're all doing well. Gonna have a cross-out video for us today, guys. Now in today's video we are going to be going over my latest creation. I made a lowish power score remedy build. Basically the reason behind this is that in the last Battle for Uranium I wanted to run remedies, but I couldn't find any particular build on the exhibition that I wanted to run, and I didn't have the time that week to make a remedy build. So I was thinking, sometime afterwards when I get this time, I will try to make one. And this is what I've come up with, and I gotta say, I am very pleased with how I've done on making this build. Now, a few things before we get into the gameplay with this build exactly. I am not a seasoned firebug builder in this game. Melee is one of my least used archetype of builds in CrossOut, I would say. But I think with that in mind, and the fact that I didn't have particularly long to make this, it actually kind of rushed in the end, to be honest. I think it turned out very good. I ran it today for the usual 6 PvP games, and I really enjoyed it. It really did well. Now, bearing in mind that this isn't really the meta at all for remedies at low power score. The reason for that is because you will tend to fight at low power score a lot of other ranged wheel builds like Comet cars, Doom cars, Reaper cars, really fast builds like that. They're very much the meta. Now, a Firebug or a Remedy is going to struggle against them because obviously they have more range than you, and in a lot of cases they're actually faster than you. But even with that, the build today did fantastic, especially at the end when I started to get used to the remedies. I absolutely loved this build, to be honest. I'm not a melee guy or a firebug guy in this game at all, if I'm honest. The reason I think I enjoyed it so much as opposed to when I used to run the firebugs in Clan Wars is because with this you've got a blight carbon and a 10-second cloak, as opposed to a griffin firebug, for example, which will have a griffin obviously and a yeti. Now griffin yetis in crossout, but they feel kind of, how do you say this, a little too easy at times for how effective they are. I've talked about this a lot, but the fact that hit your Griffin perk, sorry, hit the Yeti perk, sorry, stay cloaked for the next 50 seconds at least, and then hit the Griffin perk when you're relatively close, basically means that you can, if you're on a Griffin Yeti bug, then you can just hit a guy in the back for almost for free, and it feels a little bit too strong at times, which is why I was so surprised they buffed the Griffin. But with a build like this, like I said, you've only got a Blight, so no help against Oculuses and Verifiers, and you've only got a 10-second cloak. So you need to be a lot more cognizant and a lot more aware of when you cloak and when you push, which is really, really fun. And yeah, the build itself just did really well. It's really solid all-rounder, I think. It's got 3 remedies, so we've got plenty of durability, plenty of damage. We've managed to get the firing angles on the remedies just perfect, whereby the firing angles at the roof are locked, so we can get a nice straight line of pretty effective roof armor. And the firing angles down are just a little bit down to the point where it can shoot at its feet just in front by here, which is really good actually. You'll see it in the first match. Again, at this low power score, a really good thing to do if you're chasing, say, Comet cars or Doom cars is not to aim for the center mass or the carbon, but to aim low with your remedies. Now, the nice thing about that is that instead of just burning off carb, which will probably have like 2,000 carb anyway, you're hitting the wheels of the enemy, and the wheels will probably be quite squishy, like arrays or buggy wheels or something like that. And then when you burn them off, the enemy's build obviously is going to drive worse and worse, so it's going to be much easier to catch. So if you're chasing like a comet car in this, I would specifically, if you think he's going to get away, then aim low. If he's crashed into a wall, then yeah, you can just carve him nice and efficiently. But that's a really nice trick that you can do with this, and you'll see in the first match we pulled that off. So yeah, I'm really quite happy with this build. I like I said, I'm not a firebug guy or remedy guy or anything like that, but I had a lot of fun on this build today, and I figured that there's probably quite a lot of guys out there who like remedies, have them in the game. I might not have the right build for them, so I figured I'd throw this build up and just see how it went. And yeah, it did amazing. What else we got? Actually, oh yeah, I wanted to talk about the wheels. So people who look, it's got 14 wheels, which at 9,000 power score, people might think, okay, that's a bit too much in terms of how many wheels you have. But the nice thing about this is that they are arrays as opposed to hermits. Now, arrays are basically half a hermit, if you want to look at it that way. So an array will have less durability than a hermit, and it won't have its hermit's perk. So it has about, say, half the dura, but it also has half of the power score, which means that it's quite an interesting thing in crossout, whereby if you want a lot of coverage, which we do on a build like this, because we're going to be bumping into things intentionally, we've got quite a a much bigger build than, say, a Comet or something like that, because we need to house, obviously, the free remedies. So we want as much coverage as possible, and that's why we use arrays. Whereas if you're running, say, a Comet car, you might want to make the build as compact as possible, in which case Hermits are better because they're twice as effective. So yeah, I really like that as well. Nice, interesting part of the build, I think. And yeah, we'll jump into the usual 6 games of PvP, guys. Like I said, did much better than I expected, and I really enjoyed this build today. So yeah, hope you all enjoy, and I'll see you in game. Okay, first game in the Remedy build. Now I am pleasantly surprised by how decent this build looks, to be honest. I'm not the most experienced Firebug builder in the game, and I did not have much time at all to make this, so I think it looks rather decent, all in all. Whoa, what the hell are you? That looks painful. What is this thing? Oh, it's a fortune, perfect. No, don't even dare weasel. Thank you. I was gonna say, don't even dare weasel away from me like that. Alright, nice. First kill, fortune, straight away, let's go. Can we add a rage into the list? Ready? Yep, Shadow Ninja, come here. I'm just gonna shoot his wheels. Yes, there we go. Yeah, nice thing you can do with low power sports. Aim for the wheels with the bugs, and then they just come straight off. And then they can't run away. Okay. Game went amazing. Try and keep it going. Yeah, honestly, whoa, what the hell? I'm trying to do inner monologue, not monologue here. Flight, thank you. Two build wins. Oh, I didn't hit Blight. I'm sure I hit Blight. I must have hit it too early. Lewis, you fool. Well, what I was gonna say was that I'm pleasantly surprised that we could get like this much of a complete looking build for only less than 9k power. I'm not chasing this guy. I'm not chasing him. No. Ow! Why couldn't it have been anything else? I mean, yeah, when you think about real free remedies, light carbon, radiator, 2 energy with a radiator, 10 seconds close, plenty of speed, plenty of damage, plenty of dura. For, yeah, nearly 9k. Oh, that's a really good deal. Help me! Thank you. Yeah, I gotta say, I'm enjoying these remedies at lower power score. I tend not to be much of a Firebug player in CrossOut or melee enjoyer in general, but I think there's something about playing remedies with only a 10-second cloak at this power score just feels a lot more interesting. Because like anyone who's played Griffin Yeti Bug, are we gonna charge him? Yeah, anyone who's played Griffin Yeti Bug, you know it feels a bit gimmicky at times, the fact that you can cloak up and then cover the entire map in cloak. Hello. So much garbage. Right, where we go left? This shadow guy doesn't want to drive the whole quickly around, so we'll finish him off. Sorry, mate. Okay, we'll get you next. Okay, nice. That's 2.5 kills so far. And who we got left? Oh, come on, corpse. I hate you, corpse. I hate you, corpse. Worst thing they did in this game was have bloody corpses. Okay, that's not the worst thing they've done in this game, but it's not great. Oh my god, we're gonna push this over the map. Yeah, I really like the sort of the balance of wheels on this build. Because on paper it might seem a bit excessive, like, because I think it's got what, 1, 2, 10. I think it's got, yeah, it's got 14 arrays. So 14 wheels, which on paper might look a bit like nuts or a bit too much. But the arrays have really low power score, and like they're pretty squishy. Basically, they're like half of a hermit, so they have half the power score of a hermit, but they have less HP, and they don't get a hermit perk. So it's kind of like half. But the nice thing about that is that you can have 2 wheels in 2 different places, so you can have more coverage. Oh, you just gifted me that one. That was a present. He could not have put himself more in the corner. That is so unfortunate. Okay, let's try and not go directly in. Let's try and go around. And hopefully it's... Please. There's a drone guy with my name on it. I'm still gonna kill the drone guy, I swear. It's the last thing I do. What the hell? Oh, okay. I think what's in there. Alright, we'll do a couple more, because I think this is game number 5. But yeah, the last match, where we got killed at the end, that's like a perfect example of why firebugs and why melee is so good in CROSSOUT. Because basically the ideal part of a melee is when you go in, and you attack someone and you kill someone. And then the other team, because you're a melee, they are forced, basically. Yeah, they are forced to focus you out and try and kill you, because you're such a threat. But then you keep them distracted. You willowy, wily little thing. Get over here. Well, he's lost his... Oh yeah, he lost our wheel. I'm just ramming wheels off at this point. I can't even see. Come here. I'll get you eventually. Okay, I'm ignoring you for now. There's so many first builds. Alright, he's done as well. I'm on my way out also. That's a friendly, sorry mate. I can't really do much to that build. I saw he's ram his wheels off. He's just ramming mine off. There's a lot of dual cars in this game these days. Well, at least we were able to take a wheel off that guy, I guess. Alright, last game then. Yeah, I'm really quite glad I got the remedies and made this build. I like it. It's just a really solid, dependable, all-round like melee / firebug build, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't feel overpowered, doesn't feel underpowered, it just feels nice and strong. Yeah, but balanced. Incinerator build somewhere. Damn it. How did I just lose like 17 wheels? You can... Okay. So you need to actually do something with this map. You should have kept going, so. Give me your cabin. Thank you. Thank you. Who else we got? Oh, there's a guy over here. Now you can step on him. What the hell's going on with my camera? Nice. Just globally left, I bet. Yeah. Always the Doom guys left the last. You probably shouldn't chase, but... Yeah, I think I should learn my lesson and just not chase him. Yeah, let's do that. Let's play smart. All of us sitting on base with like barely any wheels. No, you suck. Okay, and that is it for the Remedy Dog. As you guys can see in the matches, it actually did quite well today, even in a meta that it is definitely not suited for. And I had a lot of fun, to be honest. So if you've got Remedies out there, I would recommend trying a build like this because it is honestly quite entertaining. And it doesn't feel overpowered or underpowered, it just feels like a nice, solid, Firebug-esque build. So yeah, sorry if I kind of rushed through the intro and whatnot and talk quite fast. It's just it's late and I want to get to bed because it's been a long day. So yeah, thank you for watching, guys, and I will catch you tomorrow.